let's ask you guys a question actually. Because we see his numbers on getting on one thing I want about the console from pre-release was that it didn't have as many sort of release titles as the Xbox One, but Kyle was actually stating to me like there's quite the contrary. There are other games on this console. So explain to us about your experience, well, both you guys, of course, with the PS4. What do you guys think of it so far?
Personally, I love it. I think it's a great console. I play it every day. When I got my PlayStation Network, was that Platinum, Premium, Plus, whatever, membership, you get 2 free downloads a month. And so I got Contrast and Resogun. Me and Zach every day. Like, I mean, you have to pay for it. It's a $50 game. Well worth $50. And with the membership, you also put down the flowers of this free game. And I buy many and that came out and but it came with a good amount of games that are playable and are great games to actually play, and I didn't have to pay for them, really.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I've been playing it too a lot, and I mean, like the games that we have are like quality over quantity. Like she might only have like 3 games downloaded or 4 games downloaded, but like Flower is awesome, and Resogun is like one of my favorite games of the whole year. I'm addicted to that game. I love it. So it's not like I've been playing it since this came out, and I'm still not tired of it. I've been playing it like every day. So.
Mm.
Do you think it's gonna tide you over until the new releases?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been playing Warframe. It's actually, I think my desire to complete what keeping on same with Resogun. Games is more fun, like so. I thought it was worth it.
Yeah, I just wish it was backwards compatible and played PS1, 2, and 3 games.
Yeah.
What do we know the reason why they decided not to make it backwards compatible?
I want to say that they said something about it's costing more money, because I know like when the PS3 came out, when it was backwards compatible when it first launched, it was like $650. Granted, like Blu-ray technology was new at the time. But I'm guessing it's a cost thing. I mean, I would personally pay an $100 to have one that played everything. That way I don't have to have 4 consoles sitting around and have to deal with memory cards and stuff. I could just have one that does everything.
Even though we have all the consoles anyways.
Yeah. Well, there was a picture that I had made like a year ago. It was PS3, and it said only does everything, and then I added to it where it said it 2 games. So that's just
integrated it into the Xbox One. It's not a gimmick. It's actually really useful. Like if you're playing a game or something and you do something absolutely sick, and you're just like, damn, I wish I could have like recorded that there and then. Literally, you say, I can't say it because I'm actually using my Xbox right now to do this call, and it will pick it up and it will start doing funky things if I do that. But you just say Xbox and record that, and it will record up to the last 5 minutes of gameplay that you have just done. So never again do I have to. Oh, I wish I'd recorded that. That was awesome. You know, I've lost it. I can just go, yeah, Xbox, go do that. And if I'm playing a game or whatever, I can get it to pause it. It's just a really well thought out feature. Actually, they've done well with it. I think they've definitely redeemed themselves, considering how bad their E3 reveal was and the uproar behind that.
Oh, they were just terrible, that E3 reveal.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like I think they've won a few brownie points back.
Yeah, no, it's in a sense I can agree with you on that. They really went all out on it. They were doing the shameless promotion of the Xbox One tour, the huge event that they did for like the press and everything like that as well. Plus, they had female zombies that made myself and Damien question the fact that if we were actually bang a zombie or not. We actually sat there. Like,
very true.
I would. You know, one of them was holding her boobs in front of me, and I was just like, I would.
Oh yeah. I had to be careful with the camera at one point.
Yes, he was actually focusing the camera on a zombie's ass. I'm not even lying. He was focusing it on a cheerleader zombie's ass. So whoever played that cheerleader zombie,
true story.
I would have literally, if I would have went home with one of those girls, I would have made them keep the zombie makeup on. Yeah, I'm questioning what's wrong with me. Anyway, let's go on to the issue they're talking about in terms of the Xbox One having disk issues. Have you experienced any of those?
None at all. Absolutely nothing. The only issue that I've kind of come across is that if you don't calibrate your Kinect, it won't pick up your, like, it's supposed to recognise you when you walk past it or whatever, when you speak to it. And if it's not calibrated properly, then it doesn't work. And I've seen a few reviews of people like, oh, the Kinect doesn't work. And I think it's literally, they just haven't spent time setting it up and getting it done properly. But in terms of the disk issues, absolutely nothing. I mean, they've kind of followed Sony's approach with the mandatory installs now. Depending on the game, like for Rise, when it got to about 22% installed, play the game. Whereas with COD Ghosts, it got to about 66%. But I think that's mainly because with Ghosts, it's got to think about the single player, if people want to play that, you know, or if they want to jump into multiplayer, squads, or Extinction straight off the bat. So I think, depending on the game and how many modes it has and online features, the install sort of time before it will let you play varies. But other than that, I've literally had no problems with it whatsoever. And it's quiet as well. Very, very quiet. I had my,
it sounds it. We're not hearing any sounds or anything.
Yeah, literally, I had my roommate's PC running by the side of it. And when I set it up, I was like, the only noise I can hear is your PC fan, and that's it. And yeah, it's like, even when the disc's in there, just absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm playing Rise right now while Skyping you guys, so just kind of a testament to what they've actually managed to pull off with this console.
Very much so. And I was going to ask you one little question about this, actually. What's your favourite game on the console so far?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, at the moment, I've only got Rise, Ghosts, and we have got Forza 5. We're debating on whether we might eBay the download code for it and put that towards getting Dead Rising. But I also downloaded Killer Instinct, and I have to say, for a 3D fighter, as opposed to Street Fighter being 2D and all that, it runs super smooth, like silky smooth. The combos, the transitions between the character movements, it's actually unreal. I think, I love them all. I love each of the games kind of equally. I couldn't say which one's my favourite.
Just please don't consummate your relationship with it. It probably might not be able to take it. So let's go on from there and introduce, of course, another one of our hosts. He's a long-time IGG host and is actually making his return today, Mr. Sean Walker. Sean, how's it going?
It's going great, mate. It's going great. I've started filming a new Let's Play for my channel because Nintendo have taken down my my video. So
they took down Mario Let's Play.
Yep.
Aww.
So not amused. So I'm going to be doing a Let's Play on Batman Arkham City, which will celebrate my 300 views on my YouTube channel.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, almost reached the 300 mark. 297. Almost there.
What are you going to do after you reach 300 mark? Don't consummate your relationship.
I don't know.
That's all I'm asking. And also, also last but not least, we have Mr. Xander Scullion, Mr. Excess Gaming Podcast himself, of course. Xander, what are you doing today apart from dreaming of midgets?
Let me see. It's funny. Every time we do I Got Gameplay podcast, I'm always eating something, I've noticed. And today I got some pumpkin butter. So I'm eating some toast and pumpkin butter.
Did
and
you
it's
say poo-poo bar?
freaking godly. No, pumpkin.
Oh, pumpkin bar, sorry.
Pumpkin butter.
I thought you were going all Dave Chappelle on me.
Oh, no.
That sounds kind of awesome. I've never had pumpkin butter before. Does it taste tangy?
It tastes like apple pie. Not apple pie. What the hell am I talking? Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah, it tastes like pumpkin pie. Yeah.
And Kyla's just giggling away there.
pretty
Every time
good.
you said the word pumpkin, she's just giggling. Is there something that we don't know about that you've had with pumpkins?
I don't know. I think it's maybe the way he says pumpkin, and I think it's just funny. I don't know why.
Pumpkin again,
Pumpkin.
Xander.
I think
You should record a voice message for her and just say pumpkin on it.
Some
Stop,
pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Oh, good one.
But yeah, I've just been, other than that though, I haven't really done too much today. I might be starting a new job, so I went ahead and started filming the video for this week, and also I wanted to get the video done anyway, because if I do start this new job, I want to focus all my energy towards the new Zelda that came out yesterday for the 3DS, because it's freaking awesome, and I want to finish it, so.
Have you made the decision
Priority.
to be doing a spoiler-free video and a spoiler video at the same time?
Well, actually, it wasn't. The video wasn't for Zelda, but I've already the review that's working on. It's a Game Boy Advance game, and I'm pretty done with it. I figured out the best way to talk about the game way too much, because I don't know, like, it's hard for me to do reviews in the sense that when I do reviews, I want to tell the viewers how cool the game is and the story of the game, but at the same time, I want them to be able to play the game and have that new experience like I did when I played it, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. I think
So I don't want to be like,
with these
Go ahead.
different type of games like for the Advance, I wouldn't really worry too much. Because I think I can understand where you're coming from with it, but at the same time, it's like, if they haven't played it now, they probably never will. Which is a shame. Unless they're hardcore.
It's a good
like
game. It's a good game. It's part of my favorite series of all time, so if anyone's looking, they I can just free up all this space I have. I could get like 2 new bookcases. So I'll have more storage for more games. It's kind of a problem. But
More
yeah,
games.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Xander's like a game whore. He has like tons and tons of games. As I've stated, I haven't. Yeah, go on, Kyla.
I was going to say, there's going to be an episode of him on Hoarders where he just dies from being buried under all the games.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't your channel about games as well? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll probably be like in Xander's house if he did die and just like driving his games and getting nerd on. So I picked this up from Xander's house. It's his 3DS. We have to move his dead corpse for it, but you know.
Or like they turn the lights on and me and Zach scurry away.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
You're like on top of the ceiling and you're like hissing at the cameraman like
Turn into Gollum.
Yeah.
Oh god. You have like freaking everybody just looking at him. That's just wrong. We're just getting our nerd on.
Yep.
With all that aside, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the segment that we have mostly every single time
I can one thing to talk about if you got doing Xbox One with a achievement. I think it's that it says thank you for being part of the one. You want the first experience, a new generation of entertainment, and the 16 people bidding on it.
Are you freaking kidding me, people? Are you that sad? Your achievement that says that you got an Xbox One, you sad people. That's just, let's throw it to the panel here. Dan, what do you think of this?
What's up, Internet Wrestling community? This is Anthony Mango of SmarkOutMoment.com, a wrestling website dedicated to the smart marks like you and I. We break down and review every pay-per-view with predictions and spoilers, and you can catch our weekly podcast on YouTube for some smack talk. There's no rules here, and we show no mercy. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at SmarkOutMoment, where we analyze all the angles, shoot first, and kill kayfabe. That's www.smarkoutmoment.com. Why mark out when you can smark out?
I think it's freaking hilarious. And honestly, if someone's selling their achievements and someone's buying off of it, I say kudos to the person that's selling it, you know. But the person that's buying it, I just don't understand it.
Well, if anybody wants my Xbox One, Xbox One Day One dick ring, just let me know. It's been used once.
Dude, you said I had reserves on that, dude.
I know, but you know, I want to see how much I can get on it in terms of money now. It probably might go for $2,000, you know. I wanted to like have it on when I was doing a zombie, but it just didn't happen, guys. So if you want it, I'll put it on eBay, and it's going to go with the start price of $1,000. Sure. What do you think of this?
Who am I to kind of tell you what to do with your money, whether you want to be stupid with it or not?
There's like 1 million Kickstarters out there. I'm just saying this out there, people. There's like 1 million Kickstarters out there that you could actually put this money towards, or you know, you could literally buy all the characters in Killer Instinct, so you can play the whole game through with every character. You could buy a copy of Dead Rising for that money. And you know what's going to be even sadder? If the arsehole that buys it doesn't even have an Xbox One. I'm just going to have a bet on that.
Probably likely that's just good enough to get one next year.
So, like,
now,
are you high on like cough medicine or what?
I'm high on life.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Jesus is my high.
I need.
I don't smoke weed.
I got
smoke
infected
Lord.
by zombies.
I smoke Christ. Anyway, apparently the article reads, and it's from Gear Nuke, as basically saying this. Did you receive your Xbox One all happily, only to face a non-bootable Xbox One with a green screen of death? Trying to contact Microsoft support for hours to get your Xbox One replaced with a working model? Apparently you can fix this issue yourself. You get the Xbox One running again. The possible fix for the green screen of death comes from a user named A. Sauer. Really? Who posted a possible fix on Amazon's German-based forums. For this fix, you'll need a file that was uploaded by Microsoft under the name Emergency Offline Update, or the EOU, but quickly took it down for uncertain reasons. You can view the information from Microsoft's website here, and it's got a link. Luckily, the files were uploaded to a mirror, and you can follow the steps to fix the issue. Caution, Gear Nuke on the offer are not liable for damages and blah 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 blah. It's you'll need a drive, 2 GB space, and you can download files, and the download from there, put the file onto the USB, and then you boot it, and now you need to hold the combination of two buttons, bind and eject button, and once this happens, it should take you through the rest of the process where you end up with a nice working Xbox One. But I don't know the validity of this, because for me, it looks completely and utterly fake, but we'll see. So if you're experiencing a green screen of death, ladies and gents, I will place this on our I Got Gameplay Facebook page, and I will put a nice little caution warning thing, because if you break your Xbox One even further, don't blame me. I'm just saying. Let's move on now to Mr. Damien Wither, Mr. Dragged himself at one point, he is on that shit.
Maybe covered. I mean, the only thing I actually just before we went off.
I think you should go.
I don't know. You think I should go into full details?
Yes. Look, the
Basically,
Baseline show actually got ratings for calling a tranny. I don't think we're going to have issues on this show of you talking about people's exploits for Twitch TV and their dirty happenings. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, what happened? A guy and his wife got horrifically drunk whilst live streaming from their PS4 on Twitch.
The one thing I need to ask you
now, after
is like, so you drink so much that you look horrific.
Well, let's put it like this. Well, so drunk that his wife passed out.
Okay.
So, pretty bad, if you ask me. And, so the guy thought it would be a good laugh to expose his wife's breasts on Twitch while she was passed out. And according to this website, the guy then proceeded to turn off the lights, strip his wife completely naked, before turning the lights back on to allow all the viewers on his stream to see his naked wife passed out. Now, Twitch immediately took action and have banned the user off of their site, but there's nothing stopping him from creating another account and doing it. Now, for me, I'm wondering whether this poses a potential problem for Sony, whether this is going to be a single isolated situation, or whether there's going to be kind of other misdemeanors going on Twitch, because Twitch themselves are really strict on their rules with live streaming. Like,
Could you show your bum on Twitch? That way of live streaming.
Sorry?
Could you show your bum on Twitch?
No, because that would be counting as twerking.
Ah, yes.
Twitch admins would come in and be like, nope, stop that now, or we have to shut down your stream.
You're not
and
fucking
a lot of, like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about
children to make something rude out of a set of tools they're giving. Typically, the object is the penis. The idea behind that is when you have anything that you are in control of or you can edit, like I think in Minecraft, not Minecraft, Spore, as soon as like you were able to like do absolutely anything you wanted, within like an hour there was a dick somewhere. So like the idea is how quickly, when you're given these rights in this technology, will a penis happen? And this is exactly the same idea. How quickly, when you can stream from PS4 to Twitch, anything, and you're one of the first people to use, how quickly it shuts down when they everything. Well, I would make make everything in the room look smaller, so my dick looked a lot bigger. So I'd have like a mini couch and like small beer cans and stuff.
Is this a confession?
He went He wouldn't actually do it. He wouldn't actually do it.
Where's my
Went
USB
home
pump drive?
and-
Oh,
If we went back to my place and I was like, Zach, do it, he'd be like, no, I can't.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
comparing. Then
Well, keep your eye on the news.
Do you know what always happens? It's like when you show yours off, then some big black dude's going to show his off, and then you're just going to feel inferior.
Of course. Yeah. And like hit the floor.
Okay, I'm not showing that. On the Twitch admin, just have a special guy there who's got a monster one just as much on Twitter. Good. That's going like
People
really,
did that even back then.
that's going really far just to see your own penis.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is. I think the only bad case here is that this guy will probably end up getting himself an IP ban somewhere down the line. And this is the first controversial thing that's happened quite recently. There was an issue with ban several people for people can for it, and it is ban 5 or 6 people.
Well, they pretty much saw a miracle happen on Twitch.
Oh
I mean,
crap! That he actually got out of his wheelchair. And
yeah.
so basically, it was all a ruse.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, pretty much what happened is, he leveled up in World of Warcraft and got the power to walk.
Praise Jesus.
That's how it works.
Praise Jesus. So yeah, okay, we can. What did we want about this channel? Did he get held?
I think he banned an idea as well, because like I said, he was having fundraisers and money, and I think, yeah, he definitely got in a lot of trouble for that. Because, it was fraud. It was straight up fraud.
Can you earn money on Twitch?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, just like YouTube, can't you? Just like from commercials and endorsements and stuff?
We have subscribers who
Yeah.
pay like $4.99.
That's kind of weird, because I never even saw Twitch as that kind of platform. But still, okay, let's go on from that streaming platform to another. There's been an interview with the Pornhub VP on PS4 support and next-gen plans for the Pornhub app. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch porn on Xbox One and PS4. Yeah, Mark, do you introduce about that? Are you
Yes, please.
I shouldn't be using the gagging word. Yeah, just short like, yes, please.
I already watched porn on my Xbox 360
I just
anyway.
want
so,
to
crack
say,
on.
I just want to say, Xbox go to Pornhub. Like that's fantastic.
Okay.
Tell my Xbox just to go get me bored.
Pornhub
Xbox got a jerk-off session.
that it has been integrated into the PS4 and its network as devices and able to access adult content. There's a quote somewhere that sex is always one of the first things to pursue new technology, similar to things that are true for next generation consoles. And I suppose they mentioned it quite astutely in their press release with VHS versus Betamax, HD DVD versus Blu-ray. And the one thing both of these competitions have in common is that the winner was officially backed by the evolving porn industry. And
I'll say I had to add one comment.
Never mind.
I was going to say was is frame rate going to be an issue? That's what I want to know, because
I need to see every bounce.
Because when I watch porn,
Is it gonna
I
run
want to
at
have
60
the
frames
highest
a second?
frame rate.
I think you'll be able to actually view it in 30 FPS and higher. So I don't think you have a problem with that, Xander. That's good.
Awesome.
All I want to know is, will I be able to see the disappointment on her parents' face?
Yes.
That's all I want to know.
I think you would be able to. Just what you should do is take your Xbox One to her parents' house, especially if you know her, because apparently Sean knows a couple of them who've done it, and then sit there in front of their parents and go, "That's your daughter's breasts." You could do a comparison. Can I have a look at her mum's breast and then get thrown out? And probably, you know.
Get it on
and put it on Twitch.
I was thinking upcoming YouTube video. Parents' reaction to porn stars' videos.
On PS4s.
Yeah.
Go from that, guys. Let's head on to our main topic, of course, which today we're actually talking about digital downloads versus physical copies. Which do you prefer? Of this thing,
I don't think that they probably don't think that they would make as much profit as if having them in the store, because again you have to pay for materials and shipping, blah 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 blah. So
yeah, like the two titles that Kyla downloaded, Resogun and Contrast, those are $15 titles, $14.99. So you don't see more for $60 titles that they're going through everything to send it out. But sometimes they do like collections where they might put like 3 Xbox Live arcade titles on one thing and send it out. I don't think, you know, one title for $15, it doesn't really make sense for them to put it into a case and individually ship it to the store and then sell it for $14.99 there, you know.
Sure, what's your
I think
opinion?
a lot of it.
Sorry, Xander.
Well, my opinion.
Yeah, one sec. Xander, go for it.
No, I was going to say was I think the main reason why they've been doing so much digital as well is because they can have more control with products. You know, all the games that are used at, like, you know, a place like GameStop, the gaming companies are no longer making money off those games. You know, but if it's digital, you know, no matter who buys it, they're always going to get money in the pocket.
That's a really good point.
Well, yeah, there's also that, and the fact that when you're putting digital download on, say, the PlayStation Network, you're marketing to a very, very specific demographic, i.e. the people who use it every day, as opposed to the parent who might be going out to buy something for their kid, you know?
And there's no censorship, is there? Because if you've got a card on there, and you're paying via cards, you can download any sort of game. Because I literally could I downloaded Assassin's Creed 2, I believe, on my Xbox 360. It never asked me for any, how old I was, or anything like that. As long as I had all that, whatever I wanted. And that's one of the main things. There's anyone that do whatever they like. Where physical you want
The computer yet, just because they're just cheap. I'm like, oh, I'll just go ahead and buy it. But see, I have a problem with just having too many games. Like, that's why I'm not a huge emulator kind of person, because if I have too many games, I start getting ADD, and I just start not being able to actually finish the games. And I see that with digital downloads, in the sense that I'll buy a bunch of games digitally, and I won't play them the same way as I did as if I, went out and got a physical copy. I don't know what it is. There's something really weird about that. And I also, I don't like the fact that if I do get a game on Steam, that there's a possibility I might not be able to play it again. So what happens if I'm having this compulsion, and these games that I've bought that I haven't installed yet, I decide I want to install them, and they're no longer being supported? That's money down the shooter that I never got to enjoy, So I don't really like that concept of digital downloads.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at a huge licensing issue, aren't we, as well? Because for digital downloads at the moment, the licensing differs from if you're purchasing a full game from disc content. You purchase a disc, you can trade that disc with friends. You can give that disc to your colleague. You can loan it to a family member who hasn't played that game. Like, I've got a copy of Dishonored. A friend of mine asked me if he could borrow it. He'd never played the game before, and I was like, yeah, sure, take it. You can borrow Dishonored. That's yours to basically do with as you wish. He borrows that, he plays the game, he finishes it, and he brings it back to me. Whereas with digital downloads, I can't lend that to him. He can't share an experience. I know Sony's trying to implement something so that you can do, and so is Microsoft, that you can play like about 10 to 15 minutes of your friend's game, but you're not experiencing that the same as someone else would. So there's something you have to look at, those licensing issues as well. It's like, for instance, you, Kyler, you can't lend a game to Zach if it's digitally downloaded. There's no way that if he gets a PS4, he can actually play the same game as you unless he downloads his own copy.
Right.
So there's that whole issue with sharing. So there's that shows another one for like physical games. Now, from that versus the entertainment value as well, what if you don't have that option? Excuse me. What if you only can get a digital game? Like, again, I'll name Phoenix Wright as one of them. But purchasing that digitally is the only way. You have no other choice. Would you purchase it, or would you forego it? So I'll give that question to you, Kyler. If you had no choice to purchase a game that you like digitally, would you purchase it?
I guess, to be completely honest, it would depend on the game and my loyalty to that franchise.
Hey guys, interrupt. I got to take off for the night. I got to go take care of some business. So Kyla will be here, and she will be here getting your nerd on. I got to take off though. So it was nice talking to you guys.
Yep, chat to you later, mate.
Okay, sorry guys. But yeah, it would depend wholly on like my relationship with the game and whether or not like I really wanted it. Like, I have an unhealthy obsession with Tomb Raider and Bomberman games. If one came out that was digital only, my impulse would be, I need that now. Like, shut up and take my money. But otherwise, I don't know, it varies. I generally don't like to, but if I really want it, I will.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question as well. Seeing the fact that digital's actually going, we're going into with next gen, and I'm looking at a forum at the moment. GameSpot has actually got their own forum talking about this as well, and they're saying that 9 times out of 10 people are actually saying digital all the way. They would rather buy a game digitally than actually purchase for it physically. Where I still don't understand it is. Because they're saying, they're quoting, and this is what's being quoted here, that there's ease of use. You can purchase a copy, you can pop it on the hard drive in your system. You'd basically need to get a bigger hard drive for that, and that's not a non-issue. but I don't see that as a sound argument. You know, in a sense, as we say, physical copies take up less space than a hard drive. As a digital download, you can get physical copies even if you've got a capped on your internet, so you can still play. You can trade in your physical copies, is what Sean was saying, and you can play physical copies in other people's consoles, and it takes longer. It does take longer to get your physical copy, and digital downloads at some points are cheaper and unlimited supply, but still, I don't see positives with digital downloads because you have licensing issues. You have, as you said, if something gets discontinued, you can't play the game anymore. So it causes a huge rift here, basically, about what you actually want and how you can progress in those types of situations. And you know, I can totally understand with yourself, Kylo, if you're getting something for free, why not? But in the end, it does provide sort of a tricky subject, and I want to throw it out there to everybody out there who's listening to this show. If you want to, give us a call on 760-512-7247, that's 760-512-7247, or you can actually call us using the Skype button. I know we're having a few issues at the moment in terms of the show becoming a bit staticky. I think a lot of that's got to do with Blog Talk Radio. There's a few issues on that. Xbox Fanboy, who's in our chat room, actually stated that with most money going to charity, it's good causes, and I get intent from that. But he would rather get a Humble Bundle when it comes to PC games because that's the way that PC has gone. But for console manufacturers, they've actually said time and time again that they would never downsize a game, even if it was going digitally. They wouldn't offer you any sort of extra incentives to buy that digitally. And Xbox Fanboy just also said, I bought 4 games on Xbox One and downloaded 3, with 2 of them being free. There's a big incentive now. I want to ask you about this little incentive they've got going on for next-gen consoles. Say if you own the previous console, the previous gen, and the game is actually also on your next-gen system, if you had a digital copy, you can download a separate copy of that game digitally for $10. But if you have a physical copy, now what Damon actually had an issue with, you can actually buy another physical copy of that game. You can upgrade it for $20. So why the price margin? So let's go to you first, Kyla. Why is there such a steep margin in terms of buying a physical copy than there is for actually getting a digital?
Oh goodness. I'm sorry, I missed like the first part of that for like a second. Okay. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I know there's problems on there at the moment. You buy a digital, if you've got Call of Duty Ghosts, for instance, on your PlayStation 3, you can buy a digital copy for your PS4. If you download this digitally on your PS3, you can buy a digital copy on your PS4 for $10. So then you have 2 copies of the same game that you downloaded digitally for basically the price of, for one you've paid like full price for like $30-40, and for an extra $10 you get the same game on your PS4. But if you basically have a physical copy of the PS4 game, you have to trade that in and pay $20 on top to get the same physical copy.
What? This sounds ridiculous. I guess from my understanding was that for certain games like that, if you had the PlayStation 3 version of it, you could download that for $10, and it was like you were paying $10 for the patch to play a PlayStation 3 game on your PS4. I suppose that was my understanding of it.
Yeah, I've got Assassin's Creed 4, and apparently I've got a download code of it, and what that code suggests, and I don't know why Activision isn't doing this, but the code, what they do is you can download the game for the PS4. So you have the game for the PS4 downloads onto the system. The disc only acts as a sort of a confirmation that you own a copy, a physical copy of that disc. So it's not actually been patched. It's more so that the game's been downloaded into your system, but the disc gets inserted as a way to unlock that game to allow you to play the game. cheeky.
That's kind of baloney.
Yeah, it's kind of cheeky.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Yeah.
What about you, Xana? What do you think of this tactic? Do you think it's a good way of getting people to actually purchase these games, or it's misleading?
I think it's just another way of pushing people more towards digital. Honestly, it's like why? It's like, hey, you can get this, but you have to pay an extra $10 to play it, or why don't you just go ahead and buy it digital? I mean, logically, you're just gonna be like, well, I'll just go ahead and buy it digital, So, but I mean, like, I myself have been guilty enough that I've bought a game digitally, and when they came out with a physical copy, I went and bought the physical copy. I've done that before. That's one reason why I haven't gotten DuckTales yet, because I was waiting for that physical copy. And, a great example is Mighty Number 9. Right now it's only going to be digital unless, they had, for a short period of time, they had those PC USB, drives, the little thumb drives that you could get. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money to get the thumb drive, but, I put down that Kickstarter. I'm going to get it when it comes out, but, if they say, hey, we're going to release a physical copy of it, I'm going to pay another, $20-$40 probably and get it physically as well.
They do provide you, with the way that you've paid in the Kickstarter, they do provide you with a box. So you got a box with all that cool artwork and stuff, so you can pretend you got a physical copy. Just don't open the box.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the... that's one of the reasons why, I did do the physical bundle that they had for it. But, I think it goes all to, like, what Kyla said. It's it's how much you're into the series as well. Like, I love Mega Man, so, anything Mega Man comes out, I'm going to throw money at it. A good example that really disappointed me was Capcom. Capcom made a collection disc of like 4 or 5 Capcom games that were only on Xbox Live, and I would have bought that, even though I already had the games, I would have bought that, but the one game that was still a digital download was Mega Man 10. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. It's like Capcom have actually stated that they're going to be only releasing games digitally at this point in time. Apparently this is rumoured to be what Capcom's actually doing. So if you want a Capcom game now, you have to buy it digitally. They're not going to release it physically on disc anymore. And they're saying it's because to cut down costs. Now...
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it really does make sense because it probably costs them a lot less money to do that, and so that's why they would do it.
But you think it's a good idea, Carla?
Honestly, I think it's a terrible idea, but from a business perspective, I guess why not? If that's what they have to do to maintain sales and in a growing way, then yeah, that's what they got to do.
So what
if you only have 120 billion,
million.
I was going to say, if you only have $120 billion in the bank like Capcom does, you might only be able to afford making digital.
Well, I mean, it's but with any company, you're trying to minimize loss and maximize profit,
But at the same level, you're sort of negating the one thing that your fans want from you, which is physical copies of your games. But they are releasing like 1 billion different Street Fighters, though. And it's a different story.
Monopolizing?
They're kind of, in a sense, it's like I don't think, I know there's a lot more data you can fit in now, and you can put full copies of games on digital downloads, but when I look at a digital download on my console, and even if it's from Capcom, if they're going to say give me the next iteration of Street Fighter, which they actually held up their hands and said there'd be no next gen fighter game from Capcom, so there'll be no more Marvel vs. Capcom games, no more Street Fighter games this new generation. So what's going to happen then? You've got these games that are going to be released from Capcom, and everything else that they release will be basically digital download. And if I wanted to get a physical copy of the next version of Resident Evil or digital download, I'd probably end up skipping it because I can't see myself willfully giving away $40 to $60 for a digital game. It just doesn't work for me. So Damien, what about you? Well, you're someone who's actually played like digital copies. You've got like your physical copies as well. Do you think Capcom's making a smart move if they go straight to digital?
I think that they'll lose some of their fan base, if I'm completely honest. I mean, this is news to me, like hearing that they're going to go completely digital for however long. It's rumoured that they're going to be going completely digital. Okay, yeah, but even so, I mean, that's a pretty alarming rumour to me. I mean, I am completely a fan of physical copies. I have digitally downloaded a couple of games. Again, games where, like, for instance, with a Capcom game, ironically, with Monster Hunter. Now, when I would go get Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the 3DS, everywhere was sold out. Absolutely everywhere. And nowhere was going to get any in for possibly 2 weeks. Now, all my friends were playing it, and I was kind of like, well, I don't want to miss out on playing with my friends because, you know, Capcom haven't stocked enough over here in the UK. So I begrudgingly spent the exact same amount of money as I would on a physical copy on a digital download. And, you know, I think that's one of the rare cases where, you know, if something isn't available to me at all, then I will pay for a digital download. But if I can get physical all the way, every single time, I like the feeling of opening it up, like getting rid of that cellophane wrapping and, you know, putting whatever the cartridge or the disc into the console and knowing that I own that copy of it. When I get for digital, I don't feel like I actually legitimately own the game because there's no physical aspect to it. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, I have it. I've got all this data. I've got this 3-4 gig of data or whatever it is. I can't see that. And to me, that just doesn't seem right at all. It takes away from the experience. Right? I enjoy going into a game store or whatever and interacting with the stores themselves. And I think this is another issue, is that how can game stores, such as GameStop, whatever, survive if everything goes digital? You know, these companies, I mean, Game over here recently, in this last year alone, was in such a crisis, it wasn't sure whether it was going to continue or not because its sales were so poor. Now, in terms of market, so yeah, okay, physical copies now, like going into a store and paying for it, only equates to, I think, something like 30% of total game sales nowadays. Anyway, most people order it online and then get it delivered, but you're still getting that physical copy. Now that things are going into digital downloads only, even stores such as like Amazon and things like that, they're going to notice a considerable decline in their profits because of digital downloads, being able to go onto your console, being like, right, okay, here's my card details or whatever. I know that with Xbox, you can now sign up your PayPal account and use that as opposed to if you don't want to put your own card on. You can use PayPal to buy games and add-ons and whatever else. And all I can think is that it's hurting more than just the consumer. It's hurting the bigger companies as well.
No, I agree. An Xbox fanboy here says, wish we had something like Tesco in this country. I guess Walmart is sort of similar, but it would be cool to be able to buy games at a supermarket.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's been a couple of times when I've gone to midnight launches at like, there's a 24-hour Tesco's near where I used to live. And I remember there was a midnight launch, and I just went to Tesco's, and I was like, right, I'm going to go buy it here, because at least that way I don't have to queue up outside in the freezing cold for an hour and a half just to get the game.
I think a lot of people do it, though, for the experience and the exclusives that they get with it. Because I know Game, they actually have their own exclusive contents for those people who actually do queue up. and grab their copies. But this
Like
doesn't. What's that, Sean?
I queued up, then I like a sad case and got Call of Duty Ghosts.
Did you get anything with it?
And I got an exclusive map. And that was it.
Let me ask you a question.
I got the same exclusive map from ordering through Amazon as well. Although Amazon were fucking terrible, I have to say. They were awful with delivering my version of Ghost on the 360. I ended up not getting it until the day after release, after getting release day guarantee. So at the moment, I'm very bitter with Amazon. I like any kind of launch day things, I'm going through them again.
If you're going to pre-order anything, get it from shop2.net.
Have you talked to Amazon about that? Because you know they can actually, if you didn't get it on time, they can give you a refund for it.
No, what they did is they didn't give me a refund for it. They, because I was using my roommate's Amazon account because he has Amazon Prime, all they offered as sort of compensation was an extra month of Amazon Prime.
That's
now,
what
in my head,
it was
that wasn't
also.
nearly enough. Yeah, see, I didn't think that was suitable compensation because after their terrible service, why would I then want to use Amazon Prime again for, say, if there was another big launch that I wanted? You know, why would I use their service again if I'm not guaranteed to get it on the release day and just have them extend that Prime again? I don't know. I just didn't agree with what they chose to do to kind of rectify the situation. I was very unimpressed. I tweeted at them many a time, very angry tweets, and I got a few responses, but nothing worth mentioning really.
Was any of them that Amazon blow out your anus?
No, they were just like, oh, go to this link and we'll try and sort something out for you. And I went to the link and it had expired. I was like, well, the service is absolutely fantastic. I do think, though, that a lot of the issue there was that with Prime, Amazon used their own courier service as opposed to a third party. And, I think it was their own courier that was kind of the downfall of that, in all honesty.
With Shop2, if your parcel is late or your game is late on delivery, you get £5 Xbox or PSN network points. Every day is over
that would be
launch
nice.
date.
There you go.
That was good.
Definitely getting
for Shop2. Let me ask you a question about new developers then. A lot of new developers start with digital download only games. Do you think that do you think that's great for them to keep costs down and keep their companies going, or do you think that they need to actually start looking at physical copies? Let's go, Xander.
I think when it comes to indie developers, I think digital's the best option because it is cheaper, and if they can save a little bit and make a better product, not having to worry about the things that come in the physical copies, like making the disc and the artwork and all that stuff. I mean, they don't really have to worry about manuals anymore because they don't even make gaming manuals. But I think when it comes to indie developers, I think that's the one perk about digital downloads. It's so much easier and so much easier to come by. I mean, look, all the indie developers on Steam. And the thing is that the games are really cheap, or even your phones, like iPhone or Android games. I mean, I've downloaded games on my iPhone that were either free or paid $1 for, and I've got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I can see the perks of digital with indie developers, and if they get bigger, then they can make what they did with Flower. Like Kyle said, Flower's an awesome game, and on PS3 they made a special edition that came with Flower, Flow, and Journey. They made a physical copy of that because they made so much money off of those indie developing games,
No, I agree with you on that one. And we can talk about the biggest indie game that started off as a digital download, and that's Minecraft. Now that's available anywhere and everywhere. You can actually get a physical copy now on Xbox 360, and apparently it's confirmed for PlayStation 3 as well. So in the end, you can see how it works and the benefits of actually starting off using digital downloads. And it's created such an accessible market as well for gamers and game developers, because they're producing a slew of content now. Which before you would have to find a supporting publisher to get your game onto disc. So if you've ever seen the film Indie Developer, I think it was Indie Game Developer.
Indie Gamer.
Indie Gamer was it? And they went through with Phil Fish. It talked about Super Meat Boy and how these guys and what they did to sort of get their games on a digital platform. Mostly it was Xbox Live Arcade. So let's talk about that little bit of a positive there. What do you think? Do you think that that's a good thing of this? It's made the platform more accessible, or do you think if they actually allow the same sort of perks for people who are on, I don't know, to have the same games put onto disc, that it wouldn't really matter?
I do think for small developers like that, going the digital route is obviously the most money-conscious way to go. But, I mean, I don't know. It's it just seems like the smart idea, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my words right now. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
fine. Is gone.
The Xbox fanboys actually because it's fine for the smaller companies because they're just starting out, but the big companies are the ones that are robbing us blind because they're attempting to put a huge price tag on something that is digital. I think we have to look at the EA's whole digital stance now, where every single game that they have now has to be online constantly, otherwise it won't work.
And I think that the thing with that too is I'm logging on to my PlayStation Network and there's this new game that's free to me or whatever. I don't know what it is, and why would I pay $60 for a game that I don't know what it is when it's well, this looks kind of cool and it's only $15. Maybe I should buy it and play it, No,
I agree with you on that one, because you're not literally, you don't want to buy a game that in the end it's going to be no use to you. So, right. Xander, what's your thoughts on this?
I definitely think if a big developer makes a copy that's a game that's a digital copy, I really think it should be cheaper than $60. I mean, I don't really see myself paying full profit of a video game that I possibly am not owning. It's not my game, because if something happens to the cloud, if something happens to the internet, I don't have that game anymore. So I don't want to pay $60 for a lifetime rental. Pretty much, that's what I look at it as. So yeah, I don't agree with that. I think if they come out with say the new Phoenix Wright, it's a digital only game.
Yeah,
I love the Phoenix Wright series, but I'm not going to buy it. Because I don't want to pay $40 for a game that one of these days I might not be able to play anymore.
That's another thing. You can actually buy it physically in Japan, but you can't buy it physically in Europe and America because you've got to buy it digitally. Which I don't get. I don't see no reason for it. I think it's silly in terms of any well-known game developer out there releasing a game digitally only in one location and physically in another. People are going to end up trying to import the bloody thing because they're going to be wanting a physical copy of this. Xbox fanboy says he likes the new release of NBA 2K. It's $60 on console and only $30 on Steam. So this is another big thing. Prices differ from PC to console. And why is that, do you guys think? We'll go with you, Damien.
Because PC...
Yeah, go on, Sean.
Because PC gamers moan and bitch and complain about every little thing. That's why. Fucking PC gamers.
I'm so glad my roommate couldn't hear that. That's...
It's true, though.
Yeah.
How dare you?
If they have to pay £30 for a game, it's death to the companies, and so they gotta keep them happy, you know.
Yeah, but do they keep
short
them happy? Do you think that a PC gamer actually gets more benefits than a console gamer?
Yes, because they can mod their games. That's the only reason why I want to become a PC gamer, is just so I can mod my games.
Yeah, but you can do it on console too.
Only some, though. Like, with Activision, they stopped people from modding Modern Warfare 2. They took it down. They had like a really sick mod for it. And they took it down because they didn't want their game being changed. And that's an issue with certain things as well. Like, my roommate was telling me about how like you can change the field of view on Black Ops 2, for example, which for him it stops. Like, he gets motion sickness if he's looking if he's too close to the screen. And obviously, as a PC gamer, your screen is literally 2 foot away from your face, and the constant blur and things like that makes him feel physically sick. Now, being able to change the field of view to a further distance kind of eliminates some of that, because your focal point isn't so central anymore. You can see in your peripherals a little bit more, so it makes them feel a little less queasy. Now, with Infinity Ward, though, so with Ghosts, Modern Warfare 3, someone had made a third-party mod for it that allowed you to change that field of view, but Infinity Ward turned around and was like, get out and use it, we're banned from our servers. So, it's like, for a PC gamer, there are some advantages with being able to mod your games, but not as many as people think. But in terms of PC gamers getting games cheaper, that's true to an extent. It depends on the developer. On Steam especially, it is down to the developer's discretion how much things are sold for on Steam. Obviously, Steam have their regular sales as well, like they have their summer sale, where they will offer games at a discounted price as well, which I think for PC users is a fantastic idea. And as a console gamer, I feel that we should have more things like that. Like, you do get the sale here and there, but it's not the older titles that have been out for a while anyway. I can be cheaper, but at the same time, I find I don't have to upgrade much every sort of 2 years to make
It's beyond the why would you pay £55?
Besides Nintendo eShop, they overprice everything in there in terms of their games. I think when it races Transform, which now you can buy for like $10, they have it still for $55. It makes no sense. And in terms of
No, I was going to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about this? Where, some of us that do collect and some of us do collect retro games. What do you guys think about games that are being released, re-released as digital and dropping the value of actual retro video games? What do you guys think about that?
That's a tough one.
Good question.
With you, Kyla?
That's kind of an interesting point. I like with DuckTales, did that happen?
It happened with DuckTales, and even Earth started dropping in price a little bit as well. Not immensely. I mean, it's not like you can get Earthbound for $20 on eBay, but at one point, Earthbound was going for about $300. I think it's dropping down a little bit just because of you can get a Wii U now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense because
of the cartridge title.
Sometimes. A really good example, look at Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was really getting up there, but when they re-released it as a download for PSN, at one point it was going up from, it was going to $60 to $70, and now it's back down to $30 or $40.
Well, I mean, when you think about it,
no
it actually does make sense. Exactly. It's not in high demand. They can get it from another store, so they don't need the cartridge. I mean, I guess it's good for us collectors. That means we don't have to pay as much.
Quite happily pay $60, $70 for Final Fantasy VII over again. It is actually my number one game. I love that game to absolute pieces. And, I remember seeing on eBay a few years ago that this girl selling a sealed copy of Final Fantasy VII Black Label as well, not the Platinum Edition, for £1,000 over here. And she sold it.
Jeez. And
the reason that she sold it was simply because her ex-boyfriend had cheated on her and she had kicked him out, and he didn't collect all his stuff. So she's like, well, I'm selling it on eBay. So he sold his sealed copy of it back from 1997 £1,000. And you know what? If I had that money right there and then, I would have paid for it. I would have framed that shit and kept it forever. No doubt.
Let's give you.
What I was going to say was.
No,
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say what makes me laugh, because I'm not the kind of collector that I collect for value. I know some people in the gaming community that they will buy a game just because, it's worth a whole lot of money. They get either bragging rights or they can turn around and flip it and stuff like that. I know people that are like that, and I'm not that kind of a collector. I like to get games I want to play. So I think it's kind of funny that, people will go out there and they'll buy a retro video game and try to resell it, and they'll sit there and they hold on to it, and then it comes out digital and prices drop. So it makes me laugh at it, honestly.
Oh, I agree with you. There's a guy who game hunts in our area as well. We watch his YouTube channel. He's like this little teenager. He's kind of a turd, but that's exactly what he does. He'll only look for rare games that he could probably sell for a profit. And it's just like, well, I don't think you actually care about collecting because you like video games. Like, you don't like them the way that we do. Like, I personally only collect games or purchase games that I know I like or I would like to play. I don't care, like, how much it's going for somewhere. Like, that doesn't matter to me.
No, I'm in agreement on that one as well. It's a very different sort of system that we're living in at the moment in terms of gaming and what we're doing. It's because people kind of get affected. Before, collecting used to be for those who loved retro. Now, collecting, everybody does it, and most people are doing it because they want to make sure that there's more money coming through, in a sense. So, they want to sell something for 2x, 3x the amount because there's such high demand. But let's wrap up the whole debate on digital download versus disc. Now, out of all the positives that digital download gives, like it gives new companies a chance to actually shine. It helps those who are struggling financially get through in terms of what Capcom's doing. And it also provides a way to sort of shut some people up who end up trying to flip games for God knows how much money. once they're digitally released or re-released. But the costs we've got kind of outweigh positives. You've got kind of the game something to span. If they lose the rights to the game, that game no longer functions online. And lastly, you don't have a physical copy in your hands. So let's have a unanimous decision here. Well, we'll start with Kyla. Kyla, are you digital or physical?
Physical all the way.
Xander, digital or physical?
Let's get physical! Physical!
Oh, I was so gonna do that.
Oh, God. And after but I will say this, guys. Let us know your opinion, and let's move on to the plugs, so that everybody can have their say and promote what their cool stuff that they're doing. So we'll start with you, Kyla.
Okay, me and Zach, who is away currently, we have our pretty much that we do on YouTube, you can also find us on Facebook, and occasionally you can watch live on Twitch, which is all Nerd.
Yes.
Well, I just podcast. Let's do it on iTunes.
So that's there for you guys. It's a nice little hub for everybody on the show to actually get a little bit of publicity as well. Every link that gets posted on the I Got Gameplay Facebook page as well, facebook.com/I Got Gameplay. A big thank you to Xbox Fanboy for being in our chat room today and talking with us. It has been great, and I've known we've had issues, guys. I do apologise. Hence the reason why probably our listeners' ratio has gone down today. And yeah, we have had some issues trying to resolve in terms of sound and stuff with Blog Talk Radio. I do apologise on that. And as always, guys, tune into fanboysanonymous.com for archived I Got Gameplay episodes. Check out all our previous episodes, on hopefully that's changed because of the episode. We're speaking about launch title is basically our favorite you pick up shots to do, and then we'll be releasing it on the 28th. And to everybody from myself, Michael Burhan from Xbox Fanboy, of course, Sean Walker, Damien Witham, Xander Scullion, Kyla DePietro, Zach Latour, and of course myself, Michael Burhan. Just remember that we've got gameplay,